and good evening, my dear friends. My topic for today is cardiovascular risk management, the challenges and one possible solution. The challenges that we face are the changing epidemiology, early detection of risk factors, the control of these risk factors, and the solutions they lie in implementation of guidelines. One possible solution to these challenges is the concept of a polypill. We all know that as our country is evolving, the non-communicable diseases, the lifestyle-related diseases, they are contributing more and more to morbidity and mortality. And we know that of the total mortality, cardiovascular diseases are responsible for almost 40% of the total mortality. Urbanization, stress, improved life expectancy, reduced physical activity, and a changing dietary pattern, they are leading to an increase in the number of cardiovascular diseases as well as an early onset of disease. We all know that in India, our population is vulnerable compared to Europe and the US. Our population, the onset of cardiovascular disease, particularly coronary artery disease, is 10 years, a decade earlier. The risk factors for coronary artery disease, we all know, is age, family history, hypertension, diabetes, smoking. For cardiometabolic syndrome, the situation in India, we see that the incidence of low HDL cholesterol is very high, starting right from early ages. The incidence of abdominal obesity increases as age increases, and this is common both for men and women. How do we recognize the risk factors for coronary artery disease early? So one important risk factor is family history. If a female relative of yours has coronary artery disease below the age of 65 years, or a male relative of yours has a coronary artery disease below the age of 55 years, that constitutes a family history of early CAD. Screening, assessment and testing, you calculate the body mass index, you screen the patients for hypertension, you screen the patients for their lipid profile, you ask for a history of smoking and other lifestyle behaviors. Inadequate control of blood pressure in spite of regular visit to a doctor is a worldwide phenomenon. About 50% of patients, they do not have any treatment change in spite of persistently elevated blood pressure, and in spite of multiple guidelines advocating otherwise. The blood pressure, the doctors, they rarely try to bring down the blood pressure to desirable levels. Only 60% have their systolic blood pressure values reduced to less than 140 millimeter of mercury. The 2013 ACC/AHA guidelines say that individuals with clinical atherosclerotic cardiovascular disease and individuals with LDL cholesterol of more than 190 milligram per dl, they should have a high intensity statin therapy, which means a rosuvastatin of 20 to 40 milligram daily or an atorvastatin of 40 to 80 milligram daily. For patients who have diabetes and the age is between 40 to 75 years and LDL cholesterol between 70 to 189 milligram per dl without clinical atherosclerotic cardiovascular disease, the target is a moderate intensity statin therapy where you want to bring down the LDL levels to 30 to 50% of its baseline value. So the previous concept where you had a target of, for example, below 100 milligram per DL or below 70 milligram per DL is now gone. The concept is to bring down the LDL levels to more than 50% of its baseline value or more than 30 to 50% of its baseline value, depending upon the patient's status, that is whether the patient has atherosclerotic cardiovascular disease or not, whether the patient has diabetes or not, and what is the patient's initial LDL level. So for this you can, for a moderate intensity therapy, you can use simvastatin, the natural statin, in a dose of 20 milligram. Though atorvastatin nowadays maybe would have been a better choice. Aspirin for primary prevention of cardiovascular events, the task force from American College of Cardiology, it recommended encouraging aspirin use in men aged 45 to 79 years and women aged 55 to 79 years with diabetes. Aspirin therapy in a dose of 75 to 162 milligram per day may be used for primary prevention. For patients, for prevention of stroke, in patients with ischemic stroke or transient ischemic attacks, the patients who are not able to use oral anticoagulants, aspirin up to 325 milligram per day is recommended. Yes, oral anticoagulant is the first choice, but this concept of aspirin or clopidogrel is only for those who are not able to take oral anticoagulants. So, clinical practice, it says that individuals without CVD demonstrated that the polycap formulation could conveniently reduce multiple risk factors. Compliance is a big concern. Now these diseases, the lifestyle diseases like diabetes, hypertension, coronary artery disease are lifelong diseases. Once you have it, you have to take the treatment for lifelong. A cost is involved, and more than the cost, the burden on the psyche of the patient that he has to take 4 or 5 drugs or 6 or 7 drugs lifelong is a big concern for the patient. 1/3 of patients discontinue treatment within 1 month. This was shown by the premier study. The PURE study showed that underuse of low-cost medicines for secondary prevention among participants with a history of cardiovascular disease or stroke. The PURE study, the prospective urban-rural epidemiology study, showed that among participants with a history of CHD or stroke, only 25% were taking antiplatelet drugs, only 17% were taking beta blockers, 20% were taking AC inhibitors or ARBs, and only 15% were taking statins 5 years after their event. And we know that not using any of these without a valid reason is wrong practice. If a patient has coronary artery disease, the patient must be on at least 1 antiplatelet drug unless there is a contraindication. The patient must be on a beta blocker unless there is a contraindication. All patients with coronary artery disease must be on an AC inhibitor, and if that is not tolerated, on an ARB unless there is a contraindication, and all patients with coronary artery disease must be taking a statin unless there is a contraindication. And still you can see that quarter or less than quarter of the total patients were taking these drugs. The Eureka study, a study carried out in 12 European countries from May 2009 to January 2010 to evaluate physician attitude to risk factor control, did not show better results. The Umpire trial concluded that use of a fixed dose combination strategy resulted in significant improvement in medication adherence and significant improvement in systolic blood pressure and LDL cholesterol. There was a threefold increase in compliance when you are using a fixed dose combination of drugs.